Hi and welcome to So You Want to Pass the TESOL Diploma. Today I'll be talking about Unit 2 of the Coursework portfolio and Section 3, which is the Independent Research Project. Let's look quickly at the criteria for this part of the project. Here's the marking criteria for Section 3, the Research Project. So first of all, you need a clear rationale, which is the reason why you're doing this particular research. Then you need to make sure your data is of high quality and relevant to your research, and this is 25%. And the biggest chunk is the evaluation of your research. What conclusions can you draw? How will this affect your future practice? And this is a whopping 40%. And the last important criteria is presentation. You must write in a concise, coherent academic writing style, and for this you get 15%. And what is the overall pass grade for all parts of the portfolio? If we look down here, you can see that the overall pass rate is 50%. You must get 50% in each individual section. Okay, let's return back to action research. Okay, I'm going to talk about 3 things in this video. First of all, what action research is and what it isn't. Second, getting over the wall, how to start and continue the research process. And last, formulating the research question, which is often the most difficult part. Okay, what is action research? Action research is not a conventional scientific experiment. Why not? Well, action research takes into account other things that wouldn't normally form part of a scientific experiment, like the feelings and backgrounds of the participant and the practitioner. Action research is practical. It's about changing things, solving problems in the real world. If you're doing action research, you'll probably be some kind of practitioner, a nurse, social worker, teacher, or some kind of job working with people. We're not after building theories or creating knowledge that is universal. This is all about one particular situation, one particular country, in one particular classroom, in your classroom. And remember, throughout the whole process of your research, your classroom is important. And this is my classroom. There's me on the left, and this is one of my classes in Bosnia when I was doing my diploma. So let's take a look at the action research cycle. We start at the top and we observe a puzzle or a problem. Next we reflect, what does this problem mean? Why does it happen in one class and not another class? And then we plan how we're going to make an intervention, and then we take action to solve the problem. And the cycle starts all over again, and we evaluate our action. And this can go on several times. Okay, getting over the wall. How to start the research process. At the start of your research, it can look like this. Kind of unsurmountable, something you've never done before, and quite difficult. Do the research. As you develop, you'll realize it's a lot easier, and you might even come to enjoy it. So first of all, think of a problem or something you're interested in that's happening now in one of your classes or in your institution. Why do some of my learners like pair work while others don't? This is a good example of a puzzle. Something that's happening now, something you're interested in, and something which you can investigate. With this video post, I'm going to put a link to a document that will help you clarify your problems and thoughts. So let's look at an example of another puzzle. My B1 Business English class seemed to dislike grammar exercises. They're sullen, they half complete answers, they copy answers, and homework is often not done. What data could I gather? I could give them a questionnaire. I could gather exit slips after classes focusing on grammar, discussions, and maybe one-to-one interviews. And what problems might there be? Students might be reluctant to say why they don't like these exercises. During the research, I might have to teach lessons without grammar as a comparison. Maybe you don't want to do that. And I only have 3 more weeks for this class. It's the end of term. So this problem, is not doable. You should choose another problem that's more manageable, more doable. I would advise you for 15 or 20 minutes just to go through writing down 3 or 4 puzzles and filling in the table, and then it will help you to choose the best one. Keeping a research journal is often a really good way of clarifying your thoughts, keeping momentum going, and you can even quote your research journal during your research. Asking other teachers for advice or support is a really good idea, especially when you reach a dead end, which can often happen with research. Other teachers can give you a fresh point of view. Okay, to summarize, your research should be doable. You should be able to complete it with the resources you have, with the classes you have, with the support you have from your institution in the time available. It should be manageable. You need to control your research so that it doesn't become too long and drawn out. And it should be data amenable. You should be able to gather rich sources of data on which to base your conclusions. So DMD, doable, manageable, and data amenable. That's how to start your research process. Okay, the final part of this video is formulating your research question. It's important that you formulate a really clear research question to guide your research. My advice is to use how or what questions. For example, how do my teenage learners respond to using graded readers in class? Or, what problems do my adult learners have with listening exercises? It's important to realize here that using how or what keeps your research broad, open, and emerging. During the course of the research, it can and probably will change, and this is fine, this is normal. But it's important to start with some broad questions. Just to illustrate this, let's compare it with a yes or no question. So here we have do or does. Do my teenage learners respond positively to using graded readers in class? Do my adult learners have problems with listening exercises? What do you think is wrong here? Well, you're limiting yourself to just a yes or no answer. When you do the research, what you find might be a lot more complicated. And of course, if the answer is yes to the first question and no to the second, well, there's no problem. There's no problem to investigate or no puzzle. This is the same with all yes or no questions. So I would stick to using how or what. But there is another alternative. To what extent do my teenage learners respond positively to using graded readers in class? And to what extent do my adult learners have problems with listening exercises? This is fine because you're measuring the degree of a phenomena and there's still a problem, there's still something to investigate. So this would be okay. Okay, just to summarize, today we spoke about your independent research project, and we talked about action research, what it is and what it isn't. I spoke about getting over the wall, starting the research process, and I also spoke about formulating your research question. So, I hope that it's been helpful. Good luck with your research projects. If you do have any comments or questions, then just contact me through the blog. Okay, thanks for listening.